All right. State of closed beta and patch 2.4. Hi, prospectors. Today's entry is going to be twofold. We're planning to have our weekly beta update tomorrow, which is going to be 4.13. As usual, are ready to share our patch notes early with you. You will find them as a second part to this page. But first, we'd like to include a few words about the current state of the beta, and more importantly, its very near future. State of closed beta. Let's start with a few words about our ongoing beta. We've been going strong for about a month by now and are still seeing thousands of prospectors dropping on the surface of Fortuna 3 on a daily basis. We're still constantly amazed and excited to see so many of you enjoying our game and sharing your feedback with all of us. It's been a huge help to our dev team, allowing them to confirm which points they should focus on and release those much needed weekly patches. As usual, deep thanks to all of you out there. But again, we are more than aware that all of the issues that have been emerging since the start of our beta, we are laser focused on fixing all of those as soon as we can and want to make sure that the game will reach a finely polished state at release. The bad news is we feel more time is needed to accomplish that and won't be releasing this month. The good news is we definitely have time to run this beta a while longer, granting the access of the game for a longer and allowing us to keep working on our current build. In other words, our closed beta 2 will be extended another week up to April 25th. A further announcement about the release date will be published soon enough, so make sure you keep an eye out for that one. Cool. So it looks like they're not willing to extend it much further than that if they're already talking like a release date announcement published soon. So again, I maintain that by the end of May, we see 1.0, which is very poggers, which is what I've been saying. So very cool, very cool, very cool. I'm also stoked that they're willing to continue to work on this build, knowing that like it's a throwaway build of sorts as far as like progression is concerned, and I'd much rather see a 1.0 that's going to last like a full season, whatever time period that may be. I'd rather see that be in a more complete state. Good on them. CB2 patch 2.4. Tomorrow's update, all you need to know about it. We aim to have maintenance at 10 a.m., CEST, 7 p.m., AEDT, 4 a.m. Eastern, my time, on the 13th of April. Please remember the in-game announcements are currently not working. You will lose your gear if you are on the planet when the maintenance starts, so do not be live and banging. 4 a.m. Eastern, 13th of April. Drop pod sequence of a player will only start if they have finished loading to prevent getting killed while your game did not load. Excellent. Excellent. So that's poggers. This ensures that regardless of how quickly you load, you're not getting rushed down right away. People don't have that chance to make a break on you, and this will help prevent like actual spawn killing. So that's good. Start mission was changed to accept mission. Okay. As outlined in our last blog post, we are testing some changes to squads. The outlines of your squad mates will only be visible if you are in line of sight. This is an excellent change. I'd like to see them go all together, but I see that they're doing it piecemeal, you know, step by step. I'm sure people will continue to complain about squad mates, but this is still really good. This will force them to continue to communicate well. To kill other players. Unfortunately, this will still allow them to avoid friendly fire completely without requiring communication, which I dislike. I think if friendly fire is possible in this game, then you should actually make it possible. No one's going to shoot somebody when they have line of sight if there's an outline around them, right? So it just feels very silly. And again, solos should have that preemptive ability to fire without pause. They're not going to hesitate when shooting. A squad should have to hesitate or have perfect communication to prevent them from FF. And if you have an outline on line of sight, that's still not required here. And that's frustrating. I think we need to see that amount of communication. Though I do understand going stepwise or piecemeal. Sometimes when you go the full measure to begin with, there's a lot more backlash as to the change rather than, you know, okay, we did this, then we did this, and it still needed it, so now we did this, right? So I'm okay with it. At least it's a step in the right direction. Increased Kmark cost of rare to exotic helmets and shields. Okay. Rare shields, increased crafting costs, big. Epic, increase. So it looks like crafting costs all the way down for rare and exotic, which is good and necessary. It needs to be, again, I think I've been saying that the best armors are too accessible, and anything that makes them less accessible is better. However, I don't think economy is the way to do it. I like that they're really expensive to repair. However, I think to craft them, it should be gather more of XYZ. Just my 2 cents. But maybe this ends up being the better way to do it. Just because farming things is so easy with that gear to begin with. Maybe that's their thought process, that they should just increase the credit cost. Maybe. Could go either way there. We'll see how it feels, which is, again, the beauty of the beta being extended. We'll get an actual pulse on this and how it affects things over the next, who knows, week and a half, 2 weeks. What is it, 2 weeks now? Fixed uncommon restoration and tack helmet costing less Kmark to craft. Good. Uncommon tack helmet increased crafting from 840 to 1700. Okay, so everything's cost more to craft. No big deal. Fixed repair cost to be much higher than intended. Oh, being much higher than intended. Oh, so now they've nerfed it. Fully repairing a shield or a helmet should now cost no more than 80% of its Kmark cost. That's okay, and I assume it means Kmark craft cost, which is okay. So that makes much more sense. To fully repair something that is busted all the way down to like one durability, so to speak, it now costs 85%. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I think that makes sense. Nothing wrong there. Reduced armor value for rare and exotic helmets. Rare helmet. Armor value reduced from 2019. Rare tack helmet from 17 to 16. So it looks like everything's nerfed by 1 on the rare side and 3 on the epic side and 6 on exotic and NV. Interesting. So this means that there's 6 less armor on a pink or yellow helmet, 3 less armor on a purple, 1 less on rare. What this effectively does is increases the skill ceiling because now headshots are, again, more meaningful, right? This should allow guns that have less pen by default still be able to deal effective damage to a player if they have the skill to hit the head versus the body. They will be more rewarded for it this way, which is excellent. Even with a pen mod, they're still slicing even more regardless. So this is exciting. And I think, again, this is a step in the right direction. This increases the skill ceiling and kind of makes it so that players with less gear can still maintain the possible come up if they are truly outplaying their opponent. So that's very pog. Big change. GG is another great change. Love to see it. Updated Kmark shop prices and recipes for consumables. Gas grenade. Oh, okay. All right. So they increased the price of gas grenades, which is understandable. They're really strong. I think people sleep on them, but 3K. Okay. Reduced crafting costs from 6 to 300. So, oh, and glands from 3 to 1. So they're really trying to focus on people crafting these rather than purchasing them from the vendor. Interesting. I like this change. I would love to be able to craft all my own glands or all of my own gas grenades. I've always done it the opposite way because it was 600, right? And 3 glands versus 2K. So obviously I'm just going to buy them. This way I'm actually crafting, which I think I prefer. It's a good change. Audio decoy increased buying price from 1K to 2K, reduced crafting costs from 300 to 200. Okay, same thing at the end of the day. I think focusing on crafting versus just straight up shelling out money for things is better. I think it leads to a more enjoyable, cohesive experience and really forces you to play the game rather than to try and cheese the economy as much as possible. I like that. I think that that's important, especially when we're talking about longevity. Added uncommon and rare rewards to early game contracts. Okay. Rattlers and Marauders are now more likely to switch aggro when fighting multiple players at the same time. Okay. I'm okay with this. At the end of the day, this is going to buff squads fighting AI, because this is going to allow them to swap aggro. And when AI is swapping aggro, this is time that they're not attacking somebody, right? This will probably end up with them being much more cheesable in a squad scenario. So maybe a negative unintended consequence, we'll see. I did think it was weird that it was hard to grab aggro. So maybe this is the way it should be, and that's just a consequence that we'll have to deal with. Bug fixes. Fixed another issue where lost items could count towards mission progress in the end of a match screen. I've seen this. Okay, that's good. Additional fixes to some different exploits that could be abused. Love seeing them not post what they are. This is for the best, just in case they're not fully fixed. Don't want to give people ideas. Known issues. Data in the battle log can sometimes show misleading data. Due to an issue in the customer support tool, you might not receive your answer. The ticket is checked and replied to, though. Okay. As usual, please feel free to share your feedback. Stay tuned for more info on the next steps of closed beta 2. So they didn't do any gun balancing at all in this patch. So unfortunately, no Voltaic Brute nerf and no mention of MMR whatsoever. So those are two big changes that I'm still, you know, massively looking for. Hopefully the removal of MMR and the Voltaic Brute definitely needs to be tweaked and brought into something more reasonable as far as gunplay is concerned. So other than that, good stuff. And we'll see how she feels tomorrow. Seems good, man.